Good morning. As an adult PDA, I have to do a lot of sitting with things. I will often be triggered by what my brain perceives as a demand, and I will have to go away and sit with that and allow my brain and body, my being, time to process what my brain has perceived as a demand. An example of this is somebody who I love very much, a very dear friend, once said to me many months ago, at the end of a conversation, make sure you la-di-da-di-da. That language was an absolute trigger for my brain. It was received as a demand. I was being told what to do. And the way that my PDA brain receives that is that it's either winning or losing, being controlled or being in control. This isn't by the will of a person with a PDA profile. It's not a choice that I make. It's not me being irrational or overthinking or overfeeling. It is a neurobiological response to my environment. So the PDA brain is very, very sensitive to the environment. It's my neuroception, the way my brain receives the environment, the input, is hypersensitive. So there are many more things in my environment that my brain will receive as a threat than the average autistic brain. This can be likened to a person who has experienced trauma, and the PDA is quite predisposed already to be quite easily traumatized. And when we talk about trauma, we're not just talking about what most people believe trauma to be, triggered by abuse, neglect, significant events that were difficult. There can be prolonged and consistent difficulties with an environment. Sensory bombardment can be going to school for a long time when it's not the right environment for us. It can be a number of things. It can be being raised by a parent who also has a PDA profile and requires a lot of control. So the way that my brain works is that when it heard my friend say, make sure you, my instant response, my instant internalized response was, I now must detach from this human being and I cannot continue a friendship with her. Now, me on the outside of that, because there are different aspects to me as a human being. We're multifaceted. We have many layers. We have many faces, many masks. There are so many parts to us as people that there is the part that comes forward and says to my PDA brain, but this is my friend. She didn't mean anything by that. She just wanted to remind me, and she wasn't careful about her language, and I can't expect everybody to be careful about their language. But the PDA brain doesn't care about that. The PDA brain hears the demand and works overtime to create a plan or a method of disconnecting and self-preserving. So that response within me to detach and not continue the friendship is an example of that. What I needed to do was to sit with that experience, to talk it through with another PDA, to say, hey, and look, I don't know what I would do without my adult PDA friends. I was able to say, hey, I had this experience where a friend said this to me, and my friends who are also PDA go, oh, cringe. But it's not about the other person who said to me, make sure you blah, 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 being wrong or bad at all. There's no blame in this. There's no blame. It's just a neurotype. It's a neurobiological process that I experience because I was born with a PDA autistic brain. So I have to sit with things sometimes for a long time. I might read an email that's triggering for me. Somebody might say something. I might see something in a movie or on TV, and I can't continue to watch until I step away and give myself time to process it. And when I give myself time, it allows my PDA brain to connect with the other parts of me and almost have this neurobiological conversation. They connect, they mull things over. And then sometimes I am able to come out the other side and go, yeah, okay, in a better place with it now, not as triggered. And I can continue my friendship, or I can communicate to people what happened there. And move on with life. And sometimes I can't. So I guess it's important to always know that for PDA children who don't have the level of insight about how their brain works, if they shut down, if they stop talking in the moment, if they become rage-filled, if they begin to be aggressive, if they lock themselves away in their room, then sometimes it may be because they've been triggered or they're experiencing the after effects of a demand and they're trying to cope with it in their own way. There are many reasons why our children behave the way they do. Behaviour is always a response or a communication. I actually do not believe in bad behaviour just for the hell of bad behaviour. I can't fathom that exists. There is always a reason behind it. Anyway, have a wonderful weekend. A truly wonderful weekend. No pressure, no demand.